We have UFC Fight Night Grasso versus Araujo coming up this weekend for the UFC and the UFC Apex, I believe. And I'm going to be breaking down every single fight on the card, start to finish, breaking it down, saying who I think will win the fight, things like that. So let me get right into it with a great matchup, by the way, a great starting matchup for the UFC. Mike Jackson versus Pete Rodriguez. Mike Jackson is 1-1 and Pete Rodriguez is 4-1. Mike Jackson, I believe, beat CM Punk, right? Or unanimous decision. He got suspended for marijuana or something like that, and then won via disqualification to Dean Barry. So the way he fights is, I'm not going to get into it. Pete Rodriguez, a 4-1, does have some good pressure and solid stand-up. I think the pressure will be too much for Mike Jackson and will end up losing inside the distance. I'm going to go Pete Rodriguez inside the distance, probably first round in all honesty. I'm not impressed with Mike Jackson at all, and I think Pete Rodriguez has got this. So I'm going to go Pete Rodriguez. Up the card, we have CJ Vergara versus Tatsuro Taira, I believe I'm saying that right. CJ Vergara is 10-3-1. 31 years of age. Tatsuro Taira is 11-0 and 22 years of age, so still very young. Taira will be able to keep this fight at range. He has good grappling, but not the best wrestling, and does pick his shots on the feet. Vergara likes to move forward, does have some good scrambles in his wrestling, and likes to ground and pound on the ground. For Taira, I think he'll be able to outpoint Vergara on the feet, catching him when he comes in, and I don't think Taira will be able to bring the fight to the ground for Vergara, and I think Vergara will be able to scramble out of it. If Vergara wants this on the ground, then he'll try and then just try and ground and pound him there while Taira throws up some triangles and things like that, submissions from the bottom. But for this fight, I do have it going 29-28 win for Tatsuro Taira by decision. I just think he's a little bit, he'll probably be a little bit better on the feet, has more stiff punches. For CJ Vergara, his last 5 fights, he won the last 4 of his 5 fights with a loss to Ode Osborne, which is a pretty good, solid fighter. For Tatsuro Taira, I can't say his name right for some reason. Carlos Candelario was his last win. But yeah, I have Tatsuro Taira for a 29-28 decision win. I am not surprised if CJ Vergara does kind of pull away with this one, but I'm relatively confident in Tatsuro Taira to win. Up the card, we have Piera Rodriguez versus Sam Hughes. Piera Rodriguez is 8-0 and 29 years of age. Sam Hughes, 7-4 and 30 years of age. For both ladies, they both have pretty good wrestling. I wouldn't say pretty good wrestling, but good wrestling. Piera is probably the better grappler out of the two of them. I don't think this will go to the ground. Piera was good at keeping range from Kay Hansen, and Kay Hansen does like to take stuff to the ground also. So she was able to keep a decent range. I think she got taken down once there, but was able to get back up and then defend the rest of the takedowns for the rest of the fight. And Rodriguez will outpoint Hughes, in my opinion, and what I think will happen. For Piera Rodriguez, she is 8-0, so she's won her last 5. And Sam Hughes is coming off of 2 wins against Elise Reed, which is a pretty good win there. Elise Reed is pretty good on the feet, but she was able to take her down and take her out from the mount position. Lost her last 3 before that to Luma Lukbuni, who's looking pretty good herself. Tisha Torres is looking pretty good also. And Luana Pinheiro. But yeah, I'm going to go with Piera Rodriguez, just outpointing Sam Hughes in this fight. Up the card, we have Raphael Assuncao versus Victor Henry. Raphael Assuncao is 27-9. He is also 40 years old. Victor Henry is 22-5 and 30 years old himself. Assuncao is definitely the older fighter here. Has a 10-year, I don't want to say age advantage, but 10-year difference to Assuncao. Victor Henry was able to do well against Raoni Barcelos in his last fight, who is very good on the feet himself. Henry likes to basically take a punch to give quite a few back. So he'll just keep moving forward, take a punch, and then just combo his way through it. So that's just his fighting style. He's a very tough dude, takes a punch, to give out more to get some of those more points. Has a lot of output himself. But yeah, has good forward pressure. Could also grapple Assuncao if he wanted to. But at 40 years old, I don't know if Assuncao will be as quick as Victor Henry. Assuncao does have some pretty good body kicks. Assuncao is pretty solid still, but at 40 years old, you got to imagine that it won't be the same as Victor Henry. So I'm going to go Victor Henry in this fight. Assuncao has lost his last 4 fights. Victor Henry, again, won against Tony Barcelos in the last fight by decision. He's a minus 315, which is understandable in this fight. So yeah, I'm going to go Victor Henry. Up the card, we have Nick Maximov versus Jacob Malkoun. Nick Maximov, 8-1, and is 24 years of age. Jacob Malkoun is 6-2 and 27 years of age himself. They're both very young fighters, both coming off of losses. Nick Maximov coming off a loss to Andre Prochazky, and Jacob Malkoun coming off a loss to Brendan Allen. This fight will likely stay on the feet. They're both pretty good wrestlers, semi-decent grapplers. I think Maximov does have a little bit better jiu-jitsu. But I think Maximov is better at staying at range. Does have some decent kicks and some pretty good boxing. Trains with that Nate Diaz and all them, so they train their boxing quite a bit. I'm not too impressed with Malkoun on the feet. Probably does have a little bit of a power advantage, just going based off of his ground and pound. Like his ground and pound, he looks super powerful. But technique-wise, I think Nick Maximov is a lot better than Malkoun. So I'm going to say Nick Maximov by decision in this fight. Up the card, we have Joanderson Brito versus Lucas Alexander. Joanderson Brito is 13-3, 27 years of age. Lucas Alexander is 7-2 and 27 years of age himself. Also, Brito has a lot of power in his hands, was able to KO Andre Fili in like 40 seconds. Pretty impressive KO. Has some good forward pressure, but tends to overswing. He puts everything into the shots and wants that KO blow. Alexander is coming from Anthony Pettis' organization that he just started up. It's on like Fight Pass or whatever. I think he was on the first card or whatever it was against Jacob Kilborn, I believe is his name. But he is a solid fighter, does have some good takedown defense with some good body kicks himself. Mixes it up on the feet, but definitely does have some upset potential in this fight. I just think he's picks his shots is relatively technical, where I can see him like kind of catching Joanderson Brito coming in or like overswinging at some point. But I am going to go with Brito in this fight. I do see a point where Lucas could upset this fight, but I'm going to go with Joanderson Brito in this fight. Tapology is saying 7% Brito, or sorry, 7% Alexander and 93% Brito. But yeah, again, Andre Fili KO. He did lose to Bill Algeo. Again, Bill Algeo, the more like a technical fighter, doesn't have crazy power in his hands, but is super technical. Ate some of his shots and then gave some of it himself. That's why I'm saying Lucas might have a little bit a chance in this fight. I kind of want to see what the odds are. I'll be interested. I don't know if I'm comfortable putting money on it. But again, Joanderson Brito puts everything in that first round. After the first round, he does slow down a little bit. That's when you can kind of catch him, like overswinging a little bit. But he does come out pretty heavy and pretty fast in the first round. So I am going to give this to Brito, but I'm going to keep an eye on the Alexander's odds. I'm sure it'll be like a drastic. If it's like super crazy, I might put on like $5 on him. But again, this is Joanderson Brito's fight without a doubt. I'm just saying that there is kind of like a chance Lucas Alexander could upset this fight. But yeah, let's move on. Up the card, we have Mano Martinez versus Brandon Davis. Mano Martinez, 9-3, is also 26 years of age. Brandon Davis, 14-9 and 32 years of age. Martinez does have some good movement with some solid hands. Not very good on the ground. Brandon Davis does have a little bit of a suspect chin. I'm not going to get into it too much, but his last fight, he did get caught with like a punch that had some good power in it, but it was like super early in the fight and he got hurt really badly. Mano Martinez, I believe in his last fight by against Ronnie Lawrence, did get dropped a few times, but he's able to recover pretty quickly and then dropped to Ronnie Lawrence towards the end of the fight, almost won it. But Brandon Davis is good on the feet, but does get caught. Weirdly enough, like when I watched his last fight against Dana Baccarel, he, for some reason, he just gives me Luke Rockhold vibes. Not like fighting style, but just like looking at him and the way he takes shots, it's just what that looks like to me. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just crazy or something, but that's what it looked like to me. But I think Mana Martinez can avoid some of Davis's shots and can KO him in like the first or maybe second round. But I do see Mana Martinez with the movement he does have, avoiding some of those bigger shots and KOing Brandon Davis. Mana Martinez is 77% on Tapology and 23% to Davis. But yeah, I'm going to go with Mana Martinez. Up the card, on the main card, we have Misha Cirkunov versus Alonzo Menifield. Cirkunov is 15-8, 35 years of age, and Alonzo Menifield is 12-3, 34 years of age. I think he is turning 35 soon. Yeah, so within a week, he's turning 35. So during this fight week. But I'm going to go with Alonzo Menifield in this fight. Since he does have some good power and does have some good wrestling. Misha was KO'd by, let's look at this, Ryan Spann, Johnny Walker. Did go to decisions against Wellington Turman or got it submitted by Wellington Turman, and then went to a decision against Christoph Jocko, if I can speak, and then submitted Jimmy Crute. But for Alonzo Menifield, his last couple fights, Askar Morzarov, I believe that was the guy that faked his record or whatever. I think so. I'm not too sure though. He beat him, lost to William Knight, and then beat Ed Herman. But yeah, I'm going to go Alonzo Menifield. I just think he's good at wrestling, won't have to worry about that, and does have the power in his hands to KO Misha Cirkunov. So I'm going to go with Alonzo Menifield. Up the card, we have Dusko Todorovic versus Jordan Wright. Dusko Todorovic, 11-3, 28 years of age. Jordan Wright is 12-3 and 31 years of age. I think this fight is going to end super early. Both of these guys, I think Jordan Wright in particular, his chin is a little iffy. And then Dusko Todorovic lost his last fight by an elbow to Chidi Njokuani. Lost Gregory Rodriguez Punahele Soriano in the first round, I believe, by punches. Let me click on his name and see what it is. I misspoke like a mother. And that, so yeah, he lost the first round to Punahele Soriano. Lost in the first round to Chidi Njokuani, and then won the rest of his fights. Weirdly enough, he made it to a decision against Gregory Rodriguez, but then got elbowed and knocked out by Chidi Njokuani. You would have thought that roided Obama would have probably taken him out sooner and not make a good decision. It didn't happen. For Jordan Wright, his last fight was a submission loss to Marc-Andre Barriot. He tried to wrestle him and just got caught in a guillotine for some reason. Probably could have fought, did some stand-up. Lost to Bruno Silva. Bruno Silva's a pretty good power puncher, so I don't blame him there. But did get KO'd pretty badly there. KO'd Jamie Pickett, which is an all-right win there. And then Ike Villanueva, which is a pretty solid KO. But yeah, I do think this is going to end in the first round. I can see Jordan Wright. He does have some pretty good stand-up. I can see him probably KOing Dusko Todorovic, or I can see Dusko Todorovic like ground and pounding him and TKOing him, out-wrestling him. But yeah, I'm going to go with Dusko Todorovic. I think he's a little bit more durable of a guy here, so I can see him catching Jordan Wright and putting him out. So I'm going to go with Dusko Todorovic in the first round. I'm not comfortable betting on this at all, but if I were to lean one way, it's definitely Dusko Todorovic. Jordan Wright does have the re-entry advantage also, which is pretty interesting, but I'm not comfortable betting on this. Plus 162. I mean, I don't know. We'll see who wins this one, but I do think Dusko Todorovic is a little bit more durable than Jordan Wright. But should end early, so it should be a fun fight. Up the card, we have Askar Askarov versus Brandon Royval. Askar Askarov is 14-1, 30 years of age. Brandon Royval is 14-6 and 30 years of age. Also, In this matchup, I believe Askarov will be able to grind out Brandon Royval for a 3-round decision. Askarov, oh my goodness, can avoid the submission attempts that Royval will throw up when he takes him down. He did a similar thing that Pantoja was able to avoid the submission attempts from him. Pantoja obviously just had a very impressive win over Perez, I think it was. But yeah, he's a pretty good jiu-jitsu guy, so avoiding those submissions looked pretty good. Askarov did receive his first loss of his career against Kai Kara-France by decision. Kai Kara-France did pretty well there, stuffing the takedowns and then just beating him up on the feet. Had a win before that against Joseph Benavidez, Alexander Pantoja, like I just said, and then Tim Elliott. For Brandon Royval, just beat Matt Schnell a few months ago, and Rogerio Bontorin by split decision. But yeah, I'm going to go Askarov. I think he's just going to be able to take down Brandon Royval. Maybe probably have a little bit more output on the feet. I think Brandon Royval might be able to get the best of him a little bit on the feet, but I think Askarov will be able to take him down and grind him out there, do some ground and pound, not have to worry about the submissions at all. Yeah, I'm going to go Askarov by a 3-round decision. Up the card to our co-main event, we have Jonathan Martinez versus Cub Swanson. Jonathan Martinez is 16-4, 28 years of age, and Cub Swanson is 28-12, 38 years of age, almost 39. Cub is going to be moving down to bantamweight after KOing Darren Elkins at featherweight, which is a very interesting move. I have no idea how Cub will look down a division. You have that weight cut, how his chin will be at that point. Martinez I think he will be able to chop down Cub Swanson's leg. I believe in his last fight against Vince Morales, not Michael Morales. Vince Morales, he had like this weird I won't say epitome, but it's weird thing, like he's destroying Morales' leg. Cub Swanson is kind of heavy on that front foot, or else he was pretty heavy on that front foot in his last fight. I just think Martinez will be able to chop that down, find his range, be able to pick his shots against Cub Swanson. Cub Swanson is also still very dangerous fighter, so I can see him winning this. Maybe landing a few explosive shots and then knocking down and taking out Jonathan Martinez or outpointing him. I do think this is a pretty close fight, but I have no idea what Swanson will look like in the bantamweight division, which is mostly my issue here. But yeah, I'm going to go with Jonathan Martinez. I do think Cub Swanson does have a pretty solid chance. Plus 145 underdog isn't bad. I kind of like it. It's not crazy enough to where like my prediction would move based on it. But Tapology has 43% Swanson and 57% Martinez, so they're relatively split on that fight. But yeah, I'm going to go with Jonathan Martinez. I just think he'll be able to outpoint Cub Swanson, chew apart that leg, and win by a decision. Cub Swanson does have a pretty good chance in this fight also. So yeah. Up the card to our main event, we have Alexa Grasso versus Viviane Araujo. I believe I had to look up how to pronounce her name. Alexa Grasso, 14-3, 29 years of age. Viviane Araujo, Viviane Araujo, 11-3, 35 years of age. For this fight, I'm going to go with Grasso. She does have some good hands, does have some pretty nice power. Good grappling with some improved wrestling in her last fight from what is shown against Joanne Wood. Araujo does have some good wrestling and grappling, but in her last fight, she was dropped very, very badly against Andrea Lee in the first round, very early, which is making me uncomfortable about this matchup for her. I don't think I can even choose her in this. I think Grasso can keep this on the feet. If she does get taken down, I do think she's going to be able to defend it relatively easily. Push Araujo off of her and then just scramble up. She did show some improved scrambling too in her last fight, if I'm remembering correctly. I just think Grasso is better on the feet. I can see her catching Viviane Araujo on the feet when she keeps her up there, and like within like the second or third round, I think in her fight against Macy Barber. She hurt Macy Barber pretty badly in that fight. They were just swinging. Does have some pretty good form. Wasn't fainting out of range like Macy Barber. But yeah, did show some good grappling. Did show some good wrestling. Definitely improved quite a bit. Grasso is a very, very good fighter. Araujo, I'm just not that confident in her, in all honesty. Let's see. I think they have similar reach advantages, right? If I'm reading that correctly. Oh, no. Viviane Araujo does have a 2-inch reach advantage. You can tell I'm trying to learn that name. But she is a slight underdog here, which is very interesting. I do think Alexa Grasso does win this within the first few rounds. I see a lot of people saying this is going to go to a decision. But in all honesty, seeing her just get caught by Andrea Lee, although Andrea Lee is good on the feet, or at least solid on the feet, in between there, and did get caught and did catch Viviane Araujo. I can see Alexa Grasso doing the same thing, and I think she's just big enough to just ground and pound her out of the fight. But yeah, because Viviane Araujo was like super hurt. Like it took her a relatively long time to recover from that, which you get hit pretty hard and almost knocked out of the fight. That's what happens. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Alexa Grasso here. I don't see a lot of people taking her. I see a lot of people taking her by decision. I think I already said that, but I'm gonna go with TKO victory in like the second, third. I don't want to give 3 rounds here, but second, third, or fourth, around that area, middle of the fight, probably second or third, maybe third round. I would say third round TKO win for Viviane Araujo, or not Viviane, for Alexa Grasso. Oh my goodness. But yeah, did well against Joanne Woods, submitted her with the rear naked choke, beat Macy Barber by decision, beat Ji Young Kim. Isn't super active. I think she has a few fights within the last few years, in all honesty, which isn't super active in general. Viviane Araujo, Andrea Lee by decision. Lost to Caitlin Chuchagian. But yeah, I'm going to go Alexa Grasso by a TKO in like the third round. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We have UFC 280 coming up, and I'm so excited to break that one down. I'm so excited to watch the fights leading up to it. Like a lot of these last 2 fight nights, and I'm not going to even lie to you, like they've been so hard to watch, like tape on some of these fighters. It was super rough. Like I think I fall asleep during a couple of them, in all honesty. Like it was so bad, which is why these videos come out late, because it takes me so damn long to do them, because I just don't want to watch some of these fighters, these lower level fighters. But yeah, I'm so excited for 280. I'm so excited for the cards after it, because they're all very, very good. Especially 280. I can't wait for that card. It's almost here. Yeah, I'm gonna be cranking out tons of content during that week. Probably doing some very like fight breakdowns for each of the fights on the main card, excluding probably Chukagian versus Fiorat. Maybe Bilal Muhammad and Sean Brady. I'll do a breakdown for that one. So we'll see. Maybe I'll do 7 days that week or whatever. But I'm so excited for that card. It's probably the most anticipated card of the year, the best card of the year, most stacked card for a while. I think this is like the most stacked card I've seen. Like I thought 276 was stacked. Like looking at this one, it's like holy shit. Hopefully nothing happens to it, but I'm super excited about that card. I don't know what's following it. I think I completely forgot. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We have probably some early predictions and other stuff coming out this week. I will change I did this a little bit differently. Just change it up a little bit. I am planning on doing a different form of the breakdowns for these cards coming up. It's going to be a little bit more improved from what I've been doing. I'm going to spend a lot more time on this upcoming card because it's the biggest card of the year, and I'm expecting a large influx of people looking stuff up. So I'm going to be improving this stuff a little bit, maybe add in a couple clips or whatever. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.